War and Peace is one massive work. One of those books you always hear about spoken amongst historic fame. I wanted to see what it was all about, check it out for myself and form my own opinions. And read it over about the course of a year, and once it crossed the finish line, I wanted to make this video and share my thoughts. It's an amazing book. First, I want to give you a bit of background. War and Peace was written in 1869 by Leo Tolstoy. It covers dozens of characters and they navigate Russia during the Napoleonic Wars. There's Pierre, awkward bumbling young man who's come to more money than he knows what to do with. We have Pierre's friend Andrei, a professional soldier in the Russian military. There's Natasha, the young, romantically idealistic woman. Story centers on these characters, dozens of others. It drifts amongst their family and their friends. The story told from the point of view of Napoleon. The story is told from the point of view of Russian Emperor Alexander I. I think it covers close to about 30 main and secondary characters as it tells this epic sweeping story about Russia during the Napoleonic Wars, going from the initial invasion by France down to the fall of Moscow, and then to the conclusion of the war when France retreats when the French retreat. Spoiler alert. It's a massive story. And it's not just due to the scope of the events, but really it's due more to Tolstoy's examination of powerful motivations that drive people and that drive history. To that point, it appears that the title, War and Peace, is actually a bit of a mistranslation. It can be more accurately translated as War and Society. And I've also seen it translated as War and Cosmos or War and the World. But just for consistency, let's refer to it as War and Peace. So anyways, beyond the battles, the high society balls, the romance, the murders, the suffering, the loss, the redemption, the real meat of the book lays beneath that. Tolstoy himself said that the book was more of a philosophical meditation than a direct story. And in the book's second half, Tolstoy really takes his characters and puts them on the back burner, and he really comes forth with his own distinct voice, and he really has something to say. For the rest of the book, it delves deeply into the motivations of people and of countries. The book becomes driven by a curiosity of the badness of humanity. For an example, during the story, Russia and France sign a treaty in the name of peace, only going to war against one another later on in the name of the same peace. One of the characters in the book murders dozens of people and doesn't lose any sleep, but when he's personally betrayed, it affects him so deeply almost to drive him to madness. If I was to try and distill War and Peace down to its essence, it's not about the Napoleonic Wars or the Russian people. Those are events in it. What shines forth is the illusion of agency. We think we are in control. We tell ourselves we're in control. But really, what controls us and what guides our destinies are forces that are just beyond rational thought. I can sit here and plan something to the nth degree only to have all of my careful calculations thrown off by an unexpected change in the weather, or a spiteful colleague, or any other number of events. And Tolstoy is aware of this as he writes the story. It's painfully human. This is a work almost unparalleled, not just in its scope, but in its depth. War and Peace asks a very good what and a very good how, but its why is the question that made it endure centuries. Totes recommended.